Good, Minister, and I do welcome this legislation and Amendment 6 and 7 as you referred to, because it's long overdue, and indeed many families going back to the Whitty issue in Bantry Bay all those years ago, and indeed I had a case in Tipperary, and I've spoken on this previously and raised it with several ministers, and the fact that we had a marine casualty board that is populated by people that didn't have any seagoing experience was bizarre. And indeed, I had cases that I dealt with, where two young men lost their life off of Helvig Head some years ago. And indeed, I first brought it up here in 2017. So this legislation is badly wanting, but I suppose the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And, we'll hope that, I know that Michael Kingston, Maritime Lawyer, did engage a committee, and I'd like to pay tribute to former Deputy Joe Carey, chair of the committee. I wish him well in his health. And he was very understanding and very engaging, and at committee level, but there was huge resistance to have the changes that are necessary. And I don't know if this amended bill will even suffice, but it gives some hope to the many families and many families all over the country that were left with no answers. Like, as I said, former members of the MCBI then were protected in this bill when they should not have been on the board. So we have to have full transparency and accountability. A board is there to do a job, and the vast majority of boards do. But the fact that they had no seagoing experience was, I think, it was a complete misfit. I'm terrified of water. Anyway, I almost got drowned when I was at Bocal Oak, but I think anyone that was going to be on a marine casualty investigation board should have seagoing experience, the very basic requisite. They have in other jurisdictions, and especially across the pond. And as I said, families out there are still waiting, and the family I'm talking about, the O'Brien and Esmond family in Tipperary, are still waiting for answers. They lost their son and brother, and indeed in a very cavalier fashion. And I did, in fairness to Minister Ross, when he was Minister for Transport, he came down and visited that family for me. But as I said, others are waiting much longer. And this is 11, 12, 13 years ago, and with no proper answers or investigations. We just have to have this legislation, it has to be fit for purpose, because if it's not the most the paper is written on. And when there's accidents, tragedies, or even deliberate, a boat being capsized by a bow wave, which happened in my case, no proper investigation, nothing, no evidence secured and saved, like any crime scene. If it is, there's an accident on the road and a fatality, you have, and rightly so, the road is closed off. All technical bureau brought in, and any kind of evidence is secured and stored. In my case, even the boat and the engine of the boat disappeared inside the Dungarvan car station. The engine just disappeared. It's safekeeping in a 24-hour compound. It disappeared. So this investigation is bizarre. I talked to you again about this incident, and I hope that this legislation will bring some solace to those families of two young men out for days fishing off of Helvig Head on a rib safely, but a bow wave of a big vessel just turned them upside down, and a whale watcher was 600 yards away, could hear them screaming for help, and they were left in the water to drown. So I hope that this bill, again, I thank the people that worked on it, and thank you, Minister, for finishing it off. I certainly hope that it will bring some, because those families, and Anne-Marie O'Brien in general, and her dad, who have been up here several times, their lives can't be brought back, but they want a situation in the country pertaining that if fatalities occur, that there will be proper, meaningful, well-resourced and qualified personnel will be carrying out those investigations, and other families won't have to go through what they've gone through for, as I said, for over a decade now. And I salute her and the tenacity and the way she's done all the research and fought for justice. And still meetings waiting for Gardaí. Because people did come probably a year later that were on the sea and were affected by the same bow wave and volunteered to come forward to give evidence. The Gardaí never took that evidence from them, and that's not acceptable. So we need proper, robust legislation, and if this doesn't do that, it's a big pity, because there are many other families as well, and will be accidents, obviously, and with weather and everything else, but this was no accident that I'm talking about. So I hope this bill will bring some solace. Thank you, Concourse.
Anybody else wishing to speak, Minister?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank the Deputy McGrath for his contribution, and to say that I will have a meeting with you to discuss that issue that you've raised there, and you can bring it to my attention afterwards. Can I give my closing remarks now? Everybody's happy? Well, I think the first thing I'm going to say is that I want to thank all of the deputies for their contributions here this evening, and I know they're all have their hearts in the right place. And I want to thank you for facilitating report and final stages for this bill today. The important thing is that this bill is to enhance safety regime and bring accident investigation in line with best international practice and standards. And we also need to regulate offshore service vessels, because they are required if we're to take full advantage of the offshore wind energy. We have made progress towards achieving two important policy objectives with this bill. As I say, this bill is about enhancing our maritime safety regime in terms of marine accident investigation. It also provides for the necessary regulation, making power to cater for the vessels being used in the offshore service sector and the carriage of industrial personnel on those vessels. I would also like to again take this opportunity to thank the MCIB, its board, its investigators and its staff members for their ongoing work. The new unit will build on the important contribution they have made. And again, I thank the deputies for your discussions today, and I look forward to the bill being referred to the channels for its next stages. Thank you, Ken Corder.